Thanks for tuning in to Chats with your Self-Worth BFF. This is your host, Mikaela Filar, where we are here to skyrocket your self-worth, heal your shit, and take your power back. Welcome to the chat. What is up, you guys? I am sure today's title might have caught you off guard, but I'm actually not going to be chatting with you about how to find a guy in 10 days. I'm going to do the complete opposite. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to tell you about how to stop caring or worrying so much about what's next, who's next. So, have you ever heard of the analogy of like the little girl with the bunny where she finds the bunny and then she grabs it and she's so excited about it and she hugs it and she's hugging it and she's hugging it and she's so excited and then like unfortunately she suffocates the bunny and the bunny dies in her arms and then she's like sad. Yeah. So that's what happens when you try to hold on to something that is very fragile and that comes to you when it's meant to come to you. Another really good analogy I like to use is when you chase a dog. What happens when you chase a dog? It runs away and it goes the opposite direction. If you are chasing after somebody or something and it's just, instead of just doing your own thing, focusing on you, like what happens when you do your own thing and you focus on you? Especially if you're eating food. The dog will come to you and sit right in front of you and say, "What's up?" Right? Another good one, when you're trying to water the lawn and you have the hose and the hose is tangled in a knot, or you're holding onto the hose so tight that the water isn't flowing, nothing's flowing. If you do not let things go, if you do not let things flow, they're not going to come to you, or they will come to you and then they'll slip away or they'll run away, or you'll finally get it, but it won't feel natural. It won't flow. It will be like rushed, or it will feel not organic and it won't flow easily. That's what happens when you're just like in a rush to get to somewhere that you shouldn't even be in a rush to get into. You get the point? You get what I'm trying to say here? Instead of worrying about so much about who you're going to text next and who you're going to date next and who your boyfriend or your husband's going to be and who you're going to spend Saturday night with, like, stop. Look around. Do you like the environment you're in? Do you like the body you're in? Do you like the life that you're in? Because if you don't, take all of that energy that you're so worried about it, like this, finding this person, finding your person, being in a relationship, rushing to get into a relationship, and put that into you. Put that into you. Put that into your life. Put that into your dream body, your dream life, your dream career. Like, focus on you. You owe it to yourself. You do. Like, instead of worrying about who you're going to text throughout the entire day, which drives me nuts. Like, please, if you're listening to this, future husband or boyfriend, and you want to text me all day, just don't do it. That's not my thing. Anyways, I digress. Read a book. Like, instead of worrying about who you're going to text all the time, let's read books. Let's read more books. And if you're not reading books, please start. It just makes you such a better person. It makes you so much more well-rounded and educated, and you just learn so much from other people's stories. Like, one day I'm going to write a book and it's going to have my story in it, and I can't wait for that day. I digress. Instead of worrying about who, you're going to date next, take yourself out on a date. I take myself out on dates all the time. If I have a craving for something, I go and I get it. And I'm not afraid of sitting at the bar and eating my dinner by myself. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Or even sitting at a table or in a booth by yourself, bring a book. Just take that time to like really be alone and to like maybe bond with your waitress or your waiter. I don't know, like, or just be alone. But don't don't be afraid to take yourself out. Don't be afraid to be alone. It's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful time. And if you're single right now, instead of dwelling on like, what's next? Who's next? When am I going to find my person? Oh my God, I'm getting older, blah, blah, blah. Like, just stop. Just let it go. Let it flow. And I know I've been single for 6 months now. If 6 months, yeah, 6 months now. And that's not very long, but you know what? I'm so proud of myself because I have been avoiding being single for quite some time. And I was always dating someone or texting someone in between my relationships, or maybe even texting multiple people, which I don't do anymore. Like, I can't even wrap my head around trying to entertain more than one person at a time. Like, that literally, it just, who has time for that? And there are people out there that literally have like multiple guys that they're texting or multiple girls that they're texting. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, how do you do that? But I digress. My point here is that let's say you are, worried about spending the weekends alone. Like, have a date night with yourself, take yourself out, maybe have a night in, and like do a self-care night where you like do a mask and take a bubble bath or take a long shower or, whatever it is, like put on your favorite show, your favorite movie, like just do whatever it is that feels good for you in that moment. Don't focus so much on everything that you don't have right now, because if you focus on the fact that you don't have anyone to watch that movie with, then you're going to be sad. Like that's sad. You have to learn how to like do things on your own and be happy with being alone and having that time for yourself, because you don't know when you are going to meet the person of your dreams or your future boyfriend, or you know what I'm saying? You don't know that. You need to enjoy these times that you have alone, because like who knows, in 2 years, 3 years, you could have a husband who's just constantly asking you where his wallet is, and a baby that's pulling on your shirt. Like you don't know what life is so crazy, and you never know what's going to happen next. So just enjoy where you are now, because these little moments that we have alone are beautiful and so meaningful, and just we have so much to learn from them about ourselves. This is the time you have in your life by yourself. And it's such an incredible time. Focus on making you better. Focus on growth. Travel alone. Oh my gosh, you guys. When I was 27, I went to Southeast Asia. I went to Thailand and Vietnam, and I backpacked completely by myself. I had a friend that was living in Vietnam teaching English. So I did visit her for a few days, but most of the time I was alone. And that was such a growing, incredible experience for me. And I was I felt so empowered and strong and like myself, because nobody knew me. And I was just meeting all these different people from these different countries. And that time alone and single and not having to like report back to a boyfriend, and uh, like not having to worry about what they were doing or if they missed me or missing anyone, like that was so nice. Travel alone, like I cannot emphasize that enough. If you are single and you have not traveled alone, even if it doesn't have to be outside of the country, but just like in general, like traveling outside of the country though, like if you haven't, no matter where you are in life, like stop what you're doing right now and go buy a plane ticket, because it is life changing and it really puts things into perspective for you. But travel alone, find a new hobby, learn a new activity, learn a new sport. Being single, it helps you build a strong sense of self. It helps you find a deeper understanding of personal values, of priorities. And when we take time to focus on personal growth, goals, aspirations, we gain a greater sense of fulfillment. We feel good about ourselves, which, it leads to more happiness, more satisfaction. When you know yourself, like it's so good. And I know how tempting it could be to rush into the next relationship, but taking the time to truly enjoy being single can actually lead to a much more fulfilling and successful relationship in your future. Get that? Because you take the time to be alone, so you're better at establishing healthier habits, healthier boundaries. You know you're going to communicate to that person because you know like who you are and you stand true to who you are. You can build a better and mutually supportive partnership with your future partner. There's when you learn about yourself and you know how to be by yourself, also like it gives you guys that sense of individuality in your relationship, which I just think is so freaking important. So important. Embrace this phase of your life. Embrace being single. It is such a valuable and rewarding experience. Don't rush into anything. There's no point. And I know I've already touched on this in past episodes, but like, do not settle because you're so worried about the fact that you're getting older and you want a family and you want whatever happens, whatever is meant to be for you will be. And I know that it's really hard to like let go of that hose to just let it flow. But if you are just so focused and wrapped up on finding somebody and that consumes you in your life and you're not going to actually enjoy being single because you're just so focused on the future. You gotta like just let it go. And that took me a long time to learn. Like I it, it did. Like I was so worried about turning 30 and not having a boyfriend and I do want a family and I do want a future, but like honestly, if that isn't in the books for me, then so be it. Will I be bummed? Yeah. But do I also believe that like it will happen for me eventually? Yeah. Am I in a rush? No, absolutely not. Am I going to settle? Absolutely not. Am I just going to date a bunch of random people and hope one sticks, like throwing spaghetti against a wall and hoping it sticks? Fuck no. I don't have the mental capacity to like date multiple people at once. Like if I meet someone and we hit it off, great. Great. See where it goes. I think that's probably why I get into relationships back to back because I can't. I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of going on more than 3 dates if you're not going to like get into a relationship with me? I don't know. That's where my head was for a really long time. Thankfully, we're growing and we're learning how to take it slow. But that is where my head was at for a long time. And it's just funny to think back on the fact that like I used to think like that. But and it could be like that. It could be, but also you have to be careful because like you could feel all these feelings and the other person could not feel the same feelings as you and not be in the same headspace. But that's why communication is so important. That's why having healthy boundaries is so important and not lose sight of those boundaries and not lose sight of yourself. Take it slow, get to know the person, and whatever happens, happens. But whatever doesn't happen either. Just don't dwell so much on it. Don't dwell on the future. Don't dwell on the past. Trust that whatever is meant for you will not miss. I released the how a while ago. I don't know how my life is going to pan out. I do know that it's going to be amazing. I do know that I'm going to be wildly successful. I do know that I'm going to impact a lot of lives. I do know that I will meet an incredible partner and I will have an incredible family and we will be incredibly happy. I have faith in that, but I release the how and I'm not holding on to it for dear life. Because if you hold on to things and you're so stressed out about them and you're suffocating them, it's not going to come to you because you're not like trusting the universe. You're not trusting God, source, whatever word best resonates with you. You're so like just you're just suffocating it. And you just gotta let it go, man. That's why.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, please make sure you leave a rating and review. Like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Kayla Cakes, at KAELA_CAKES. Visit my website at MikaelaRyanFilar.com to find out more about my coaching services. All of these links are in the show notes below. Make sure you tune in for next week's episode. New episodes are out every Tuesday and Friday. Chat soon.